This is a day to do more healing. So this is a exciting and thrilling day. This is a day to become greater healers. Exciting and thrilling day. The day the Lord has made. This is the day to realize what that means. This is the day to send out more energy. This is the day to send out more affirmations. This is the day to send out a greater vision for the world. This is a day to receive more creative thoughts and bring them to bear upon solving the world's problems. This is a day to begin to reach out and help people. This is a day to begin to realize how we can be instrumental in raising people up into higher consciousness. So this is an extremely exciting and adventure-filled day, a day of every kind of the most wonderful enchantment. There's nothing else more enchanting than becoming a greater healer and seeing more people raised up, seeing more people raised out of their problems, seeing more people come out of their difficulties, seeing more people set upon a higher vision, seeing people have more joy and excitement in their life, more happiness in their life, more health in their life, more peace in their life. This is a day that we can begin to do that. And how can anything be more thrilling and exciting than that? So this is the day which we need to turn within to that infinite source and ask ourselves, what does that infinite source have? How much power does it have? How much power does infinite mind have? How big is God? Like the old song used to say, how big is God? Bigger than all your dreams and hopes, bigger than all the mountains and all the seas, bigger than you and me, bigger than everything that we can see, bigger than every dream that we can dream, and every amount of abundance that we can receive. That's how big is God. That's how big is the infinite source. How much power has the infinite source got to flow within us? Bigger than everything we can imagine in our small minds, bigger than anything that mortality can visualize. We have to get into that state of immortality where we've lifted our consciousness above all the mundane and all the fearful, abominable things, and lift our minds above all fear and sense of illness and sense of despair, despondency, and lift our minds above the sense of physicality and living in a mortal world, and get our minds up there, ascending up more and more in consciousness, just to begin to be able to begin to realize what all Source actually contains, what all God actually has within Himself to begin to pour out upon us. And so let's make this the day that we will begin to raise that consciousness so that we can begin to see what all God has, what all, how much power and energy He actually has. And then as we begin to see how much He has and know that we're one with Him, then we'll begin to gain that too. We'll know. You got to start off knowing that you can receive more energy. You know, I mean, if you're just in a low feeling now, just feeling low and run down and I just can't seem to get that energy going. I can't seem to get the vibes moving. I can't seem to get the creative energies going. Oh, I got all this. I've got a bunch of straightening work to do, or I've got a lot of cooking to do, or I've got a lot of gardening work to do, or I've got a lot of work at the office, getting the office all straightened, and I've got papers piled up this high, and I've got to go through and get all straightened out and make phone calls and contact people and all this. But how to do that? My creative juices just don't seem to flow. I just in a low feeling, and how to best go about to really getting started on that and everything, and on all that organization that I need to do is just beyond my ability to cope with. And so, I'm just in a low, run down feeling. Well, the first step to that is to realize that the energy is there, to realize that the creative power is there, to realize that you can be lifted up to a state where all that'll just happen. It'll happen 10 times faster than you could ever imagine. Oh, you can get 10 times as much done as you ever thought you could ever do in one time. You can get 10 times more than you ever imagined that you'd get accomplished in one day. You can get 10 times that much done, and feel better at the end of the day, and be more energetic doing it, and enjoy doing it more, have more excitement about it, and get thrilled about it, just get thrilled about it, accomplishing those things, making those phone calls, talking to those people, helping them, because you'll be able to, you'll have a chance in there to help. You'll have a chance to heal. You'll have a chance to raise up, and you'll have a chance to do marvelous things. And every step of that that you do, every piece of paper you move, every phone call you make, every house you visit, every person you talk to, it's a chance, another chance to lift your awareness a little more, to realize, to ask yourself what is really going on here, and how can I help to lift that situation, and how can I help that person. So in everything, all of life is an adventure. From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, because every second and every minute is, you're asking yourself, how can I put more energy into this? How can I put more creative activity into this? How can I get more from creative mind? And then you start out knowing, as I say, knowing that all of that creative energy is already there. And know that all of that energy is there. And know that all the healing power is already there. If you start out with that, then it's easy, because all you have to do is say, okay, I'm going to begin. And the creative energy is going to flow, because I know it's there. And if it's not, I'll just stop for half a second and just say, infinite mind, source, God, begin to reveal it to me. Begin to pour it out upon me, and just receive it. And I receive it now. I say, this is the day, the minute, the second the Lord has made, and I receive all that now. And then just right that quick, just move on into your task, and just know that it's going to flow, because you've just stated it, you've affirmed it, you've said it's going to flow, and so it's going to flow. And so you just move on out as if it's already flowing. Don't go to the river expecting to see the river just still. Go to the river expecting to see it flowing at a mighty speed. Don't go to Niagara Falls expecting a few trickles to come down. When you go to Niagara Falls, expecting to be pouring down at a mighty force. And just expect it. Expect your day to go marvelous. Expect your creative activities to flow like that Niagara Falls, because that's the secret right there. Is that Niagara Falls is already within you. It's already there. The energy is already there. What has happened is you are starting out by saying, I don't have energy. I don't believe the energy is there. I don't feel good right now, and so I don't think it's ever going to. I'm going to feel good later. I don't think I'll feel good 10 seconds later, 10 minutes later, 10 hours later, because I don't feel good right now. And not realizing that if you'll just turn to our infinite mind source and say, I expect it to start happening a minute or two from now, and just move out with that. I expect to see that river that's still now just begin to flow at a mighty speed. I expect a few trickles that are going down now to just begin to flow like Niagara, and I'm going to move out now expecting that, and knowing that that's going to happen. And then when you do that, that's when you're going to really have the energy to accomplish all your tasks. And so this is just a marvelous day to be a healer. It's a marvelous day for anybody who is an empath or a healer or anything else, because people are lifting their consciousness to realize their need for all of these things, and they're lifting their consciousness to realize their need to put on these YouTube channels and listen to these great people like Tanya Love. People are beginning to raise their consciousness to realize that she's got something going there, that she knows something, that she spent time in meditation. And she spent time in her prayer room, in her angel room, in her time communion with all of these beings that are made out of love and joy and peace, and are part of the flow out of source and infinite mind. And she spends time with that, and gives time for that to flow, and lets it flow in her life, and then comes on her programs and lets it flow out to us. And so people are beginning to raise their consciousness to that. They're beginning to realize it, and she's got a marvelous, a wonderful program there this morning. Don't put up with anybody that comes on there with fear and doubt talk about how the end of the world is coming and how everything's going to crash down, and how the oil prices are going to skyrocket till you can't afford to drive your car, and everybody needs to buy a small car, a little small tuna can type car that looks like if you walk upon it too fast without noticing it, you'll crush it under your feet before you see it, and that kind of thing. But you need to have a great big SUV that has room for all your computers and room so you can listen to Tanya Love while you're going down the road. You need to have one that has room for big screens and big enough screens in there you can see them, and have room for relaxing in there. And if you want to stop at a park, and watch her while you're at the park, you can do that, and you can load all your books and other things with you, and your different CDs and DVDs of marvelous things that you're going to give out to people and help people with. Oh yes, you have to have a nice big SUV for that, and don't be fooled, and don't be listen to these people, but listen to people like Tanya Love here. You look at her, see, she's in thought, she's got something. She's just going to really pour out the power. She's going to pour out the gushers on us this morning, and I can't wait to hear her speech. I'm going to get my coffee going, and I'm going to get my breakfast moving here this morning. I got a marvelous breakfast. I got my eggs fixed just right, my pancakes fixed just right amount of toastiness. And I've got the cereal of every kind. I've got rice, and I'm going to eat all this stuff this morning with my marvelous coffee. And it's I guess the season time again. Oh Lord, and we got the wonderful coffee cafe mocha this morning. I need to decide whether I'm going to drink a cafe mocha or it's this cafe mocha. They've got just the right amount of chocolate mixed in there. It just really goes down smooth and nice. Oh man, when you get your energy thoughts going and your meditations and your contemplations and all of your affirmations flowing through your mind, and you just start sipping upon this coffee here, you just feel like you're just floating on top of the world. And it's just a marvelous coffee, and so it's hard to pass that up. I can only drink one cup of coffee at a time. Just like when I can only receive one of these marvelous thoughts at one time. But one of these days, as we keep ascending in consciousness, we're going to be able to receive all these thoughts at one time, and they're just going to lift us up to a high height that we can never believe. All these thoughts are just going to all add up at once to us, and then we're just going to be healed instantly of everything that we could ever thought of that we have as far as lack of energy or lack of circulation or anything else that you may have out there. These thoughts are going to add up to you, and you're going to say, this is the day that they're all added up. I'm going to make them I'm going to let them add up today. I'm going to let all these thoughts add up in my mind today and say, this is the day the Lord has made. This is the day I'll rejoice and be glad in it, and I'll begin to shout and jump and run and enjoy myself like I hadn't in years, because I've got that new energy. I've got that energy. It's beginning to flow. It's beginning to glow. It's beginning to go all over. It's been beginning to reach out into the world. And now that I've been healed, I'm going to be able to become a healer and heal other people and rejoice with them as they're lifted up, as they're healed of cancer and diabetes and heart disease and all these other things that they've fallen into over years and years of this crazy world's negative, mundane thinking that has poured out all these kind of thoughts that's created illnesses for people. And so we're going to be lifted out of that. And I've got this nice Columbia roast this morning. Oh yes, I've got so much energy this morning, but I know that this is going to go along with it all and make me even happier. Oh, it's just a marvelous thing the way they trap that in there. I just it's just like and then it is sealed up in that nice little K cup, and you put it in I've got a nice little portable, the thing don't weigh a pound, and it's just, you see how small it is, just this small, fits in your glove box, fits in the drawer of your desk. Oh, it's a marvelous little thing. It just has a little deal here. You just pop that thing right down in there, and then all you got to have is just a cup of hot water, and and you have a nice fresh cup of coffee. None of the marvelous taste will escape until because you got your water right there, and the hole isn't punched into this until you got your water on there, and then you got your cup underneath there, and so none of the aroma, the flavor, anything can escape. And that's just like when we get all these thoughts into our mind securely, then infinite mind comes along and just seals at it within us. And from then on, we're just full of energy and happiness because all these thoughts are sealed all within us, and they can't escape. And we don't want to let them escape. We want to keep going over them until they're sealed within our heart.